A very good morning. Good to see you all. Welcome back. After completion of the foreign policy, now we are discussing about the one what we call the succession. What was the succession here? Nothing but after Nehru's death in 1964, what was the decision which was taken by the Indian Congress leaders? They have taken a right decision, right time. The only decision is that choosing a righteous leader. So after the death of Nehru, they have chosen the leader Lal Bahadur Shastri. As you know about Lal Bahadur Shastri, the famous slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. So what was his intention? What was his ideology? How to make or to follow the fundamental values and goals of the Indian nation. How to make these fundamental values and as well as goals of the nation. In what manner he can cope up the situation. What was the situation as the death of Nehru? So then what he was trying to do is that how to overcome the scarcity of the food, how people are suffering because of want of food. That was the situation which is existing. So at that time, one more problem which was started called anti-Hindi agitation. Most of the people they are opposing Hindi. See, like the people in DMK, Dravida Munitra Kazhagam, the southern states like Tamil Nadu, where the people are opposing regarding Hindi. That was the situation which was existing. Not only that, the war with Pakistan in the year 1965. So there and then, Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi untimely death in the year 1966. So these are the things which are existed. But one or the other way, the Congress leaders try to overcome such type of pressure, and these are the things which are existing. The next part it turns to the one what we call that as anti-Hindi agitation movement. So the succession, the anti-Hindi agitation. As you all know that, we know that the Official Language Act in the year 1963. So when this Official Language Act was introduced in the year 1963, what are the things which are happened especially related to Hindi? So particularly like what we called DMK, Dravida Munitra Kazhagam, there in Tamil Nadu, what was the intention means to force Hindi and to protest imposition of Hindi. The main intention of DMK, what was the planning going on means one or the other way to stop Hindi. With that, even they made such a violent method over there in statewide. Such was the situation, like what they are making means protest, strikes, dharnas, agitation, effigy. Even they started arising of signboards which are there in Hindi. So that was a burning situation which was existed only because of one what we called against of Hindi. Anti in the sense nothing but against of Hindi. So that was the situation which is existing over there. So at these circumstances, the picture pattern which took place between the two like police and agitators, how to control the situation, what was the demand, what the people are expecting. So these are the things which they are making such type of things among these two groups of people, and then what the central government have to take the decision, what will be the better and what will be the next step to take. But the situation in which two groups of what we are finding like pro-Hindi and anti-Hindi. So keeping that in mind, now what was the situation which they have taken into consideration, the three important languages, as you know that. Regional, national, international. Regional means the people whoever they live in one particular region. Like in Tamil Nadu, Tamil speaking people. In Maharashtra, Marathi. Kerala, Malayalam. So these are the languages in which what they have considered means regional language, the people wherever they live. Like Telugu speaking people of both Telugu states. Like Telugu, like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So these are what we are speaking, that is considered as one what we call regional. And the national language is nothing but what we call Hindi, Rashtriya Bhasha Hindi. And there and then what was the next they have taken is English as a window language. So these are the three what it says about regional, national, international. Regional, national, international. So even whatever they want to conduct the examination, the civil service examination also, what they are trying to transformation is that instead of Hindi they have to replace the English. That was the situation which is existing over there. And there and then both the Prime Minister like Nehru ji and Lal Bahadur Shastri was in stake. What was the first standing point here? Just to bring the unity, not for the personal standpoint. So these are the things which are considered over here, that related to one what we call the two groups related to pro and as well as anti-Hindi. Of course, Shastri ji was supported for one what we call pro-Hindi, but this was not considered here. As per the people requirement, people demand what they are asking, that was considered and finally made of these three. What I mean to say is that regional, national, international. Regional, the region people where they live, that will be considered regional, and national language is Hindi and international language is English. So due to that, today whatever the information which we are getting through mobile, or if you go to railway station, if you go to your theaters, airports, wherever we find only the one what it is running is English. Of course, we love our mother tongue, but the importance was given for the English. So that all what it describes regarding the one called anti-Hindi agitation. After completion of anti-Hindi agitation movement, the Green Revolution, 1964 to 67, then the first Prime Minister of our country, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, what he was designed means only to make and plan up one what we call Green Revolution. Green Revolution main intention is that better water management. That means supplying of the water in a better way, high yielding of varieties, HYV. HYV is nothing but high yielding of varieties. And the main thing like multi-cropping system, like intensive, extensive, making agricultural production to be enhanced. Why all these are the concepts which Nehru ji has launched and made through Green Revolution means only to make agricultural production better, and no one should suffer because of food problems. Food problem should not be seen in our nation. With that intention, he started developing like dams, projects, irrigation, agriculture. All these are only intended to make production better. So that was a successful program which we have seen through one concept what we call Green Revolution. That was the end of the one what we call Green Revolution. After that, rise of regional parties and regional movements. Regional parties like area-wise, like Telangana, TRS, Telangana Rashtra Samiti. If you go to Andhra Pradesh, YSRCP. If you go to Jammu and Kashmir National Conference. If you go to Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party. If you go to Punjab, Shiromani Akali Dal. So what these are called regional parties. Regional movement means in that area. So what was the thing here we are talking especially related to 1961. What was the turning point which has been taken part over here, as we have seen about the political arena, in which what it says is like economic development and as well as political competition which was started. What was this here means the important thing in the year 1964, whatever the majority till now for 30 years, first 30 years, what the only the outstanding performance which was performed by a single party, what we call Congress party. But here, that party has slowly turned, never ever seen. After independence, this is the first time in the year 1967 where they secured only 284 seats. The graph has completely come down here. That is what it says clearly, the importance of 1967 election. So what it makes us clear means the party has come down with the lowest majority, that is only 284 seats. Where, in which state it was failure means Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Punjab, West Bengal, Odisha, Madras and Kerala. all these states in which it was a worst situation before independence, that was only a long-standing party, but after 30 years, 1967, coming to this, it has lost its importance. 1947, we attained independence, as you know that. So, this is what it says, especially related to one what we call DMK, Dravida Munitra Kazhagam, which was more popular in these two states like Kerala and as well as Tamil Nadu. But how that popularity has come? So, how a person can be identified very easily means he should be as a sports person or a film industry related. So that was the same thing which was done to the film industry, that is MGR, Mr. M. Ramachandran. So popularly what we call MGR, to make you clear, in our Telugu states like ANR, Akkineni Nageshwar Rao, NTR, Nandamuri Taraka Ramarao. Like here, MG Ramachandran, shortly popularly called as MGR. He is the person who made to follow such type of only the two related to DMK in Kerala and as well as Tamil Nadu. That made here it's a challenging, right from 1947 to the past of the 30 years, it was a challenging task in this multi-democratic parties, multi-parties which was started seeing in democratic country. Multi-party system has come over here with only the popular hero, what we call MGR. He was specially focusing only the two like DMK in Kerala as well as Tamil Nadu. And there and then, what was the next thing happened over here means Congress to replace with one what we call as SVD, Samyukta Vidahak Dal, SVD, shortly what we call. So, Congress has replaced this SVD and most of the opposition parties, they are forming as coalition, uniting as one in democratic country, the multi-party system which was existing, and that what it makes clearly how the downfall of Congress, which was ever seen before right from independence to 1967, where it has secured very lower seats, that is 284. So like all these are the coalition like Janasan, Socialist, Swatantra Party and Congress Opposition Party. All of them were united to form as one what we call opposition towards Congress. This is the situation which is taking place over there during this period, and there and then first time in the history, what is that means? The caste system also played a key role, a vital role, a pivotal role. That was the reason various castes are started enrolling or enshrining over here. Jats from Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Kurmis and Koiris in Bihar, Lodes in MP, the Yadavas as well as all the states related to Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Okaligas in Karnataka, Vellalas in Tamil Nadu, and in Andhra Pradesh, Reddis and Kammas. So this was a new direction again. What was that new direction means? Right from film industry, it turns towards the casteism, where all these castes are coming forward to unite as one, and they want to see that Congress to be replaced with such type of coalition. Even the caste are also involved over there in democratic country with making their own popularity based upon regional parties and regional movements. Even the caste system which became more popular. So, whatever the SVD which came to power, but it was only short-lived. What it means it is unable to continue for a longer time. Why? What was the reason? Means the reason is only the defections and corruption. So this ultimately turns all over India with various movements, say related to regional movements, to make their regional parties, and all these are very strong. Like here, when we talk about Andhra Pradesh, they started demanding about the one what we call Telangana statehood formation. The people of Usmania University spearheaded and they demanded that as we need a separate state. That is the first regional movement which was started from Andhra Pradesh related to what we call Telangana. Like in the same manner, Assam, Meghalaya. In this, what happened is from Assam, the new state which was formed, Meghalaya, that is in December 1969. And there in this, like the tribal people where they are living, like Khasi, Jaintia, Garo Hills. These are the people related to that. And Punjab in the year 1966, and the capital what they are talking about 68 and 69 related to the Punjab and Haryana. What is that meant? As they don't want to see for both states the same capital, what we call that as Chandigarh. That was a separate demand. Only for Punjab it should be treated as the capital. But as we know that for both the states which is having the same capital, what we call Chandigarh. And in Maharashtra, the Maharashtrians, they started with the movement what we call Shiva Sen. And here the Kashmir issue, that is Sheikh Abdullah, let us discuss in detail. And even Nagaland also, the younger leadership were the people coming over here. So that was the standpoint of here, and all the states, even like in Bihar, Ranchi, in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Maharashtra, Jalgaon, Uttar Pradesh, Aligarh. Almost all these are the states which they have started making of only the one to have the regional movement. And in this connectivity, when we talk about Jammu and Kashmir issue, as we all know that Kashmir issue, when we talk about India and Pakistan, majority of the people in Kashmir are the Muslims. So what was the objection of Sheikh Abdullah? Why he was objecting that means, as he don't want to see the Hindu ruler, the Hari Singh who was ruling over there, the Kashmir, that he don't want to accept him. And what he says that very clearly, majority of the people are the Muslims, so the importance should be given only for the Muslims. That was the demand what he has been made related to Kashmir issue under the leadership of Sheikh Abdullah. And then when he was house arrested, and then he was coming out and he was making this serious information related to the one. What is that means? Like in this Kashmir where the majority of the people were the Muslims, and why the Muslim dominion was not taking place. And that was the reason. This is what we call when he met over there in Delhi and he argued related to the Kashmiri Sea. This is only according to the Article 370 what he has been asked them to implement that. The first and foremost priority should be given only to the Muslim. That was the thought of Sheikh Abdullah. That what he was asking is special dominion status over there in the constitution. And then this was the situation which was taking part, and that is what the Article 370 what he has been demanded. So that was the past about the 90s when we talk about that. And maximum people are the Hindu landlords, like Hindu, Muslim and the Sikh religion, all the groups of people where they are existing. But now recently our the Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, where he has been cancelled the one, as we know that what we call Article 370. So with which where we are united as one, east or west or north or south, we all are together. That shows the one building up one what we call unity in strength. So all these are only the demands which has been ultimately turned. So how they are making here means regional sentiments has shown all over the country. That is the meaning what you have to understand here. So all these are the things which has been taken part after the house arrest and all the removal of that. Then Kashmir was talking about this. Previously this was the situation related to one what we call Delhi agreement, but coming under the latest what we have known about the Modi ji, where he has been abolished this Article 370, and all the people, whether Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, whoever, wherever, as we follow the one what we call secular ideology. With that he made the people to be compromised, and these are only the things how these are turned towards the one what we call that as rise of regional parties and regional movements which we have seen. So after Kashmir issue where the Hindus are Muslim, we all are together as we related to one what we call our nation. Then what was next step taken by Indira Gandhi? The post 1967 elections, what was her ideology? Here most of the people are poor and downtrodden. What she was observing. And what was her ideology especially related to these? She has bid as double-edged weapon. And what she was trying to do means, as she was trying to fulfill a new promises. But what was the drawback? As we know that the defeat of 1967 election. So though she made such type of new promises and new way to make the people to convince, but here the frustration, disheartenment, and that culminated to one what we call emergency. So these are the things which has been turned, that all are only the one what it describes, rise of regional parties and regional movements. So this is what it says regarding the one, how it was concluded.